Bruce Springsteen adding star power and blue-collar appeal today to a president who believes he can seal victory in the Midwest. Win or lose, this is the last day that Barack Obama will ever campaign. He promised to heal a divided nation.
We're not Democrats or Republicans first, we're Americans first. Yeah. As long as I'm president, I'll work with anybody of any party to move this country forward. And when I talk about change, I'm not just talking about changing presidents or political parties. I'm talking about changing how our politics works.
One more day was the chant as Mitt Romney took to the stage in Virginia. He too is presenting himself as a consensus builder.
You hope that President Obama would live up to his promise to bring people together and to solve problems. He hasn't. I will.
And then Mitt Romney's closing argument that he is now the agent of change.
See, accomplishing real change is not just something I talk about. It is something I have done, and it is something I will do as the President of the United States.
Almost 30 million Americans have already made their choice, taking advantage of early voting rules. But in Florida, scene of the hotly disputed election 12 years ago, there were chaotic scenes over the weekend.
Let people vote!
Let people vote, they shouted, as the queue barely moved and party lawyers argued over how long the polls could stay open.
I've been waiting here since 12:30 to pick up an absentee ballot, and now they're telling us we got to go home. That's just ridiculous.
This is not Cuba. This is not China. We cannot allow this to happen.
On the East Coast, early voting was disrupted by Hurricane Sandy, an October surprise which thrust the president into the role of crisis manager. In polls, more than two-thirds of Americans say he handled it well.
It's hard to tell whether those approval ratings will translate into crucial swing votes for tomorrow. But what's indisputable is that the storm has dominated everything here for the past week, putting the president front and centre and pushing his opponent to the sidelines.
With the national polls deadlocked, it may all come down to turnout. And so a ground war is raging as volunteers scramble to get core supporters to the polls.
Which do you believe?
And an air war, TV viewers bombarded with last-minute ads. By tomorrow night, only one of these exhausted men will be standing. Then the real work begins. Steve Kingston, BBC News, Washington.